You are watching a master at work.
Hey y'all, welcome to the Christian Bae TV where Christ and Culture connects. I pray that you guys are having a wonderful day. As you guys see from the title, today we're doing a get ready with me and we're talking about how to let your guard down and become more feminine. I'm going to be giving you guys 4 steps, and I'm also going to be playing a little game where I mention some other women and their feminine characteristic that I love. You guys know these women, so make sure you watch the whole video and get to the end so we can play this game where I mention some of my favorite feminine women and what you guys can take from them. If you would like to see me create this beat as well as give you guys 4 steps on how to let your guard down and how to become more feminine, as well as tips on expressing your emotions, keep watching. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and let's get into it. As you guys see from the title, today we're doing a get ready with me and we're going to be talking about, let me pull up my iPad, okay? Today's topic is, and y'all, I got a lot of notes. Camera, I need you to focus, okay? At this point, it's a lecture. I have a lot of notes, okay? But I'm excited to dive into it. So as you saw from the title, I'm gonna put my iPad on the second shelf so that I could look down at it when I'm doing my makeup. But as you see from the title, we're going to be talking about how to let down your guard and be more feminine. And I'm going to give you guys tips on expressing your emotions, expressing your feelings, and just how to get more comfortable with it, because it's actually something that I had to do as well. Because you guys know, ooh, see, it's still kind of nerve-wracking doing it. You guys know that, well, if you're a loyal babe, you know that I have 3 older brothers, so I was a little rough around the edges, so I had to learn how to be more feminine because I grew up around a lot of masculine energy, so I was just tough, like rough, okay? But today we're going to be diving into what you can do to let down your guard and be more feminine. And this topic actually came from one of you guys. You commented on my last feminine video, and I forgot the young lady's name, but she commented asking how to not be so hard and rough and just become more feminine, like how to let down that guard from being hard and stiff and tough and all of that. So that's what we're going to dive into today. But I do want to let you guys know that Josiah is here. I know y'all love Josiah. He just woke up, so he looking a little rough too. But Josiah, come here. Josiah, come here. Say hi to the camera.
Hi.
Wait, say hey.
Hey.
Okay, go get your phone and your headphones. You have to be really quiet, okay? And then, no. You're not coming back over here. Sit on the couch. he was bringing his stuff over here. When we finish, we're going to go to the playground, okay?
Where do I dinosaur?
Yeah, you can bring your dinosaur. Okay, so if y'all hear anything in the background, it's Josiah, but he said he's gonna be really quiet so we can go to the playground. So let's get into it. Before we get into the makeup, I want to show you guys some stuff that I got from Sephora during their sale. So starting off with the Coco Cabana cream, and I got the travel size because first of all, the pink one was sold out. The new pink one, they was sold out of it. But I got these because last time I went on a trip, when I went to Virginia last year for my friend's grand opening, I took my, I think this one in the full size in my suitcase, and it bust and like broke. Y'all know the airport be throwing your stuff around, so I got these little small ones to take on trips and stuff with me so that my big ones don't break anymore. So I got these. They were like by the front, you know, and they get you when you standing in line. When you standing in line, they had a little stuff there that you could look at. That's where I grabbed that. This is actually something that I'm so excited to try. It's the new Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder, the light catcher, and the color that I got was Honey Star light catcher. So when you put it on, it's like shimmery. So I'm really excited. This is a setting powder. I want to say we're gonna try it today, but I'm nervous. We're gonna try it today, why not? But it was so pretty in the store. I was kind of torn between what colors to get, this and the rose gold one, but I got this one. It has a little plastic on it so it doesn't spill out. But this is what it says on the back, Honey Star. And I'll put in a little clip showing you guys the, I think it's 3 different shades, and they also have a translucent one, but I'll put the bar showing you guys what options they have. But I'm excited to try this setting powder. So I'm gonna put away my old setting powder because y'all know I only got one setting powder that I be using, but we switching it up today. And I'm excited that it got glitter in it. Also, I got the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer Blurring. I'm gonna use this primer today as well. Laura Mercier, what's good? Because I'm using all your stuff today. Y'all know I usually use Smashbox, but we're gonna try this primer today. And lastly, I got the Lancome what is this, concealer, and I don't even remember. Okay, concealer for under the eye from Lancome, because I love Lancome foundation. Even though I don't even be doing it, using it a lot on here, I do love their foundation. So I'm trying this is actually a foundation stick, but I'm gonna use it as concealer for under my eyes, so that's why I got it so bright. But I'm not using it today because that's too much new stuff for a day. So we're just gonna try the setting powder and the blurring primer for today. I think that's everything that I got from Sephora. Let's see. Oh no, the last thing that I got was this Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. Somebody, I forgot which YouTuber I was watching, but they mentioned how great this is, so I definitely want to try it. Now we have 2 primers. We're gonna go with the Laura Mercier today, but the next one we'll try the Milk. So with those 4 items, I had $10 off because I had 500 points. So my total was $118.77, and that's what we got from Sephora. So we have a lot of new stuff to try. Also, I went to Target, and this is what I got from Target, just 3 items. I got 2 new highlighter and contours, because y'all know I use the same stuff, so I'm trying to switch it up, okay? So I have the NYX HD Studio Photogenic highlight and contour, and then I also got a new e.l.f. Blush. It's called Putty Blush, and this is the color. So we're also gonna try this blush today too, okay girl? We're trying it, okay? So now that all of that is out the way, let's get into the look. What we're gonna do is start off with the eyebrows, of course. So I got my eyebrows tinted, so they're already done pretty much. I got them done last week, so they're kind of fading now, but I'm just gonna brush them and then fill them in a little bit. See, they're already done. So I'm just gonna fill them in with like a little pencil. Y'all know, front beauty supply store. My AC just cut off, so the audio probably sounds a little different now. If it does, which I'm sure it does, that's why. So now that I just filled them in a little bit, as you can see, I'm just gonna take the other end of the same brush that I used. I got these brushes from Amazon. This is called BS Mall. And I'm gonna put some concealer under to just give it a more bold look. The concealer I'm gonna use is the Deep Olive by e.l.f. This is actually one that's pretty empty, but I just like scrape the sides because I only need a little bit for my eyebrows. So we're using every corner, okay? So when we're talking about how to let down your guard and become more feminine, I'm gonna give you guys, let's see, 4 ways to do that, right? So grab your journals. If you don't have your Christian Bae journal, click the link in the description and purchase your Christian Bae journal. It's perfect for taking notes while you listen to the podcast and while you watch these Get Ready With Me's. So the first thing that I would suggest for you guys to do when it comes to letting down your guard is figure out, why is your guard up? And this was a process that I had to go through. So now I'm just gonna put some of this on my eyelid and blend it in. So this was a process that I had to go through, was figuring out my past traumas, because when you have a guard up, or when you are a woman that wants to come off as hard, and I'm not talking about a woman that's like hard to get, and if you have standards. There's a difference between having standards and playing tough or pretending that you hard because you don't want to let nobody in. I'm not talking about having standards that must be met and knowing your worth. I'm talking about the hardcore exterior that some women have, and I can talk about it because I was a woman that had it as well. And when you begin to think about it, it comes from a place of past trauma and past hurt, and when you've been hurt by something, you become guarded by that thing. And y'all, when you go out of town, it's like all your stuff just be discombobulated, okay? It really do. So when you've been hurt by something, there's a certain attitude or demeanor that you have towards that thing, right? So if you, let me give you guys an example. If you got your ears pierced, right, and it caused an infection in your ear, you had to have surgery because you got a titty on your ear, when it comes to you getting your ears pierced again, you're gonna be guarded. You're gonna be guarded. You're not gonna wanna do it, or if you do it, you're gonna be extra cautious about it. Like, have all of these stipulations. Is your needle clean? Okay, teach me how to do the cleaning process of the ear. Like, you're gonna maneuver or move different when it comes to that thing after you've been hurt. So a lot of women, they move off hurt, and that's how they go about their love life, and that's why they're so guarded. That's why they're so tough, because of past trauma and past experiences. But the problem with that is you become the person that hurt you. And even if you don't become them in every aspect, because you're carrying the pain that they caused, some of you has been altered because of their actions. So you're still somewhat like them because you allowed them to change who you are. So that's where the guard comes from. You don't guard something unless you've seen it's been attacked, or you've seen somebody did something to it, and now you say, I must protect this thing because last time I didn't, this is what happened. So the first thing is realizing why you are guarded. Where did this wall come from? So the first thing is figuring out where is the guard from? Why is your guard up? What has caused you to be guarded? And that's going to take some self-reflection. I always talk to you guys about the importance of spending time in solitude and figuring out why you do the things you do, or why you think the way you think, or why you love the way you love. Really get along with you and figure out, why am I guarded? What situation in my life made me fear love, or made me fear being vulnerable and open with somebody? Was it the fact that your dad was inconsistent in his life? Was it the fact that you didn't have a dad? For me, I was guarded because I did not know how to have a female and male relationship or love in that type of way. And it's because I personally feel like a lot of the female-male relationship characteristics that you learn, it comes from a father-daughter perspective. That's why they say, or father-daughter situation. That's why a lot of people say women marry their father, right? Because you see the manly characteristics from a man that loves you. So being that my dad died when I was 3 months, I never got that interaction, or I never had that experience to know what it looked like. So for me, and I've shared this before, for me, it was a mentality of, I'm good without this. I don't need a significant other. I don't need love because I've never had that. So my guard came from lack of knowledge, and also feeling like it wasn't needed because I didn't know how to have it, right? So you have to figure out, why is my guard up? What about me rejects this, or rejects being open to receiving this? Y'all know I always say these videos gonna be short, and then I start talking and they're no longer short. So let me make sure I'm being intentional with getting the look done, okay? So I done blended in the eyebrows. Sometimes I could leave this line too harsh under. I'm trying to get better at that. So I'm gonna blend it out some, and I feel like it looks even more harsh when your eyebrows are tinted or filled in. So I'm gonna just blend this out some more. I was listening to YouTube music, and they played this song by Moneybagg Yo, and it's called Scorpio. And when they played Scorpio, there go my AC, y'all. When they played Scorpio, one part of the song stood out to me, and he said,
last situation scarred her, so she moving off hurt. I can't save her, I got out of there, I ain't making nothing work.
So in the song, he said her last situation scarred her, so she moving off hurt. Exactly. That's 10 times out of 10 a woman that's, I don't need a man. And y'all, let me tell y'all a story time. So y'all know I do a lot of traveling, so I'm around a lot of women and stuff like that. And last year I went on a trip, and I was around this woman, Laura Mercier. Y'all secured this, okay? This primer is secure because I can't get this thing off for nothing. So I went on a trip last year, and I was around this girl, and it was my first time meeting her, and she was cool. And in the car with the other girls, we were like singing love songs, and you know, like talking about our feelings and emotions and stuff like that. And the girl was like, I don't do love songs. She was like, all men act like the same. No, I don't play with the radio when it comes to them. Like, just like, girl, who hurt you? Like, that's what it was giving me. Who hurt you? Because she was just like, I don't do love songs. But she wasn't speaking about it from a place of I've been hurt. She was just like, this is just how I am. Anybody that's like that, that's not just how they are. It's from a place of hurt, because nobody comes out of their mom's womb not wanting love or a significant other. There is something that's caused your wall to be up, or your guard to be up, or for you to be this stern and tough when it comes to relationships. So long story short, that's how she was on the trip. And y'all, this girl currently has a boyfriend, and when I say mushy, like most of her posts are so mushy, and I'm not clowning her because I love that for her, and I love to see it, and I know God allowed me to see it, to share this with you guys, because it confirms that women that act like that is something that has happened to them, and they actually do want love. If you're a woman that's very guarded, I can bet that you actually do want love. Either something has happened and you're scared of it, you fear it, or you simply don't know how to receive it or accept it. Like for me, it wasn't that I was scared of it, I just had never experienced it, so I felt like I was good off of it. But then once I experienced it, it's just like, okay, well, I do want this thing, but now I have to learn how to have this thing that I never had, or I never knew I wanted to have. So I'm glad that God allowed me to see that with her, and how lovey-dovey she is, y'all. She's posting about like wanting kids and everything, and it's just like a complete 360. And I feel like it's because she's met somebody who made her feel comfortable enough to let down her guard. That wasn't even in my notes. I'm putting on this primer, y'all. So it kind of, as y'all can see, it's kind of going on like lotion. I don't know how I feel about it yet, because I have dry skin. So I kind of like the Smashbox, because it seems like it has like a water base. This seems like more like moisturized base, if that makes sense. It's like a thicker consistency, and I don't know how I feel about that, because it's kind of hard to rub in, as y'all can see, because I already have dry skin. I did moisturize my skin today, but we'll see how it looks when I finish my makeup. And it kind of has a white ashy undertone, in my opinion. So we're gonna see. I do think it's blurring though, as y'all can see. I don't know if y'all can see it on camera. Comment and let me know if you can see it on camera. What it's doing. It also has like a powdery feel to it. Like it feels like, y'all hear that? And I feel like it's blurring, but I don't know if it's good for people that have dry skin like me. But we just gonna keep trusting the process. So yeah, in that song, Moneybagg Yo said her last situation scarred her, so she moving off hurt. And I was like, exactly. So the first thing to do if you want to let down your guard and learn how to be more feminine is to figure out, why is your guard up? Really spend that time getting to know you and thinking about your past relationships, stuff that a lot of people don't like. A lot of people don't like to reflect on their past relationships, but that's where all the lessons are. The best way to prevent yourself from going back through that same situation or that same type of relationship again is to study it, analyze it, and see, where did I go wrong? What could I do differently? And where did my significant other go wrong? What could he have done differently? So that when you're looking, or you're allowing yourself to date, you're able to see these characteristics that you know are red flags for you, or characteristics that you know, okay, this is something that my ex lacked, and I see that he has this, so I'm interested in this person. The only way you're able to wisely move forward in love or in anything in life is to look back at your past and analyze you in a situation and the other person. A lot of times we like to point out what our ex did wrong, but also look at you. What could you have done better to make the relationship better? It's not saying that you need to analyze it and get back with the person. It's just to help you develop for your next person. So the first tip that I have for you guys when it comes to letting down your guard and becoming more feminine is to figure out, why is your guard up, and address those past traumas, okay? And what I mean by address them is, I mean, get real with yourself. Realize what the traumas are, accept that these are your traumas, and when you accept them, then you can begin to work on them. So the second way that you can let down your guard and become more feminine is to dig and do the work. We're not just accepting the past traumas, we're also addressing them. And how do you address them? You address them by digging and doing the work. All right, so the foundation that we're going to use is my favorite. Let me put the top on so y'all can see. The foundation that we're going to use is my favorite foundation, the YSL All Hours foundation. This is what I was supposed to buy, some more of this foundation, and I completely forgot. But I love this foundation so much. Let me get my beauty blender. So the second thing that I want you guys to do to let down your guard is to dig and do the work. And what that looks like is figuring out, is this a generational curse? A lot of people don't realize that your dating style or your dating experiences, you might be able to look at your auntie and realize that y'all got some of the same stories, or y'all dated some of the same type of men. Y'all kind of have the same type of men. Yes, like, but you have to pay attention to it to even recognize it. So I want you to dig. Now you know your traumas. Dig into where this trauma came from. Is it one that you've picked up on your own, or do your grandma got a story of where the same thing happened to her? And in the previous video, I mentioned it to you guys. If you haven't watched my previous feminine energy video, I'll put it in the cards. But I mentioned to you guys how I realized that my dad's mom had some of the same characteristics as me. And I'm like, this is where I get it from. Like, when I looked at, I began to dig and do the work, right? So I found out about my mom's love life, and then I began to dig and find out about my dad's love life. And I relate more to my dad's mom. My mom's mom was more of a hopeless romantic. Like, she was the type to my grandma always had a man. Like, she always had a man, whereas I know me, I actually preferred being single, but I preferred being single because I preferred having options. Duh. Like, if I'm not in a committed relationship with none of y'all, then none of y'all can't trip if I'm out with the other one. That was my mindset. So when I begin to dig and see, okay, where did this mindset come from, aside from not having my dad, but where else did it come from? Because don't just stop, like, keep going. Once you figure out one thing, keep going. I learned that my dad's last name is Jackson, but that's not my dad's last name. My dad got his mom's last name because my grandma didn't know who my dad's dad was. So really, I don't even know what's our real last name, because she was pimping. Like, she had options. So I learned this through digging, and it made sense, and it played a role in, okay, I didn't have the relationship with my dad, so that played a role in how I viewed relationships. And then also my grandma, she was a pimp. She always had options, so that also played a role in me feeling like I don't even need a man. I can have a bunch of men. Like, that was that. So it came from me digging and doing the work, because once you dig and do the work to figure out why you are the way you are, this is the self-development that God wants us to go through in our single seasons. Now, for me, I did this digging while married already, and I would have preferred to do it in my single season, because that's a season where God wants us to do it. But you guys know my testimony. I didn't start my relationship with God until after I got married. So that, it was like, for me, when we got married, God began to send my husband on deployment, like back to back to back, to 6 months, 7 months, 9 months, back to back to back to back to back. He was getting deployed. And God showed me that he was doing that because my process was a little different. So even though I'm already married, I went through a single season because he was deployed and sent away. So during that season of me being alone, that's where I was experiencing my single season. So for you babes that are single, just know you can't avoid the process. You can't avoid the single season that God wants you to go through. You're gonna go through it, whether you in a relationship, out of a relationship, already married. You're gonna go through that process because God knows that there's purpose in that process, and we actually need that process that so many people try to skip out on. So if you are somebody who's in a single season right now, instead of being mad that you're in a single season, do the work, do the self-development work of learning your traumas, what you've been through, your mindset when it comes to relationship, when it comes to love, your mama mindset, your granddaddy mindset, so that you don't carry their traumas or carry their baggage and their mistakes with you in your future relationship. God wants us to use single seasons to do the self-development work, so that when you get in a relationship, you don't find find yourself right back in another single season. It's a lot of people who run from the single season because they try to run from the process. They try to run from being alone, but then they find themselves quickly back in the single season because nobody want to deal with your baggage. Nobody want to deal with your mama trauma that she passed down to you, but because you tried to avoid the single season, because you tried to avoid the process, you didn't even dig and do the work that's needed to get rid of that trauma, to get rid of that baggage. You didn't do that work. You just hopped in another relationship, bag lady, and brought these baggage and this trauma with you, and you think this man's supposed to dig it out for you. It's not his job to deal with your mama trauma. It's your job to address and accept that trauma and break that generational curse, but you can't break a curse that you don't know about. So it's important to embrace the single season and say, God, if you have me in a single season, it's because there's some self-development work that needs to be done, because you don't want me to take trauma and past mistakes and my mama mindset and my daddy thought process with me into my future relationship, which can possibly lead back to me getting single again, because that man don't want to deal with that. Stop complaining about the single season and do the self-development work that God is calling you to do. The healed version of you is way more attractive and way more feminine. Let's get to the next step. So we've blended in the foundation, and y'all, I kind of like how it looks. I feel like it definitely blurred everything. I feel like my foundation has a very smooth look to it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I do like it. I didn't like how it made my skin feel, but I do like the smoothness of the foundation. So now we're going, the smoothness of the primer that the primer created. So now I'm going to do our highlighter. Since we tried a new primer and we tried a new setting powder, we're not trying a new highlighter. We sticking with the basics when it comes to the the highlighter. So we're going to do e.l.f. in the color Deep Olive, of course. This is the 16-hour Camo Concealer Matte Finish. So I guess we're going with a matte look today. And then I'll use this one. We're going to use our Morphe. This is the Effect 19 Dimension Effect Contouring Stick. So the healed version of you is way more attractive. So the second tip and the second thing that I want you guys to do, if you're trying to figure out how to let your guard down and how to be more feminine, is to dig and do the work. Figure out generational curses, patterns, trauma, experiences that your mom has passed on to you and told you this is how love goes, and this is how relationship goes, and this is what your daddy did, and this is what your grandma did, and all this other stuff. Dig and do the work and take what they say and compare it to the word of God. And if you can't find scripture to back up what grandma said, if you can't find scripture to back up what your daddy did, if you can't find scripture to back up what your brother told you, dismiss it. Okay, dig and do your own work, because the relationship, the marriage that God has for you, mama can't tell you how to get to it. Daddy can't tell you how to get to it. God ordained it and created it. He's the only one that can tell you how to get to it, period. The third step for you to let down your guard and become more feminine is, once you have figured out why is my guard up, once you have addressed and accepted the traumas, then you begin to do the work to break those generational curses and break those traumas. How do you break those traumas or break those generational curses? You do it by intentionally making a decision to do the opposite of what feels comfortable to you, to do the opposite of what you or your flesh would naturally do. You're setting a new normal. You're setting a new standard, and you're saying, this is the way that I used to date before, and I already see how that ended. I already know the outcome of that. This is the way that I used to love before. This is the way that I used to talk to my significant other before. This is the way that I used to carry myself before, and I see that I did not like that outcome. I see that that outcome was produced from a past trauma or produced from a generational curse. So I'm going to be intentional with making decisions that align with who I want to be now and not who I used to be. I'm going to make a decision and be intentional about breaking those curses and breaking those habits by creating new actions. And let me put on this concealer because we getting into it, okay? So we're just gonna do a little dig. Just like looking at me like, girl, how long is the video? I got 2 more videos to record after this, so. All right, so that's that for the concealer. Let's blend. You break these curses or these past traumas by intentionally making a decision to do the opposite of what feels comfortable. A trauma or a curse, sometimes we make that our home because that's what we're used to doing. So it's easy to do what activates the behavior of the trauma or activates the behavior of the curse because that's all you know. So in order to create a new flow, in order to create a new way of dating, a new way of loving, a new way of marriage, you have to be intentional with changing your actions. So that's gonna be, it's gonna feel weird, it's gonna look weird, it's gonna feel foreign to you, but still push through and do it anyways, because that's what you call growing pains. Growing pains is called pains for a reason. It hurts to grow. It hurts to not be who everyone is used to you being. It hurts you because it feels foreign, and it also hurts the people around you because now they have to relearn you, but you're worth that. Make them relearn you, because the last thing you want to do is be the same version of you that you were last year. God has more for you, and you should want more for you. So experience those growing pains, because it's going to produce a part of you that you never even thought you could be, but you're going to be so proud of. And that's not just in your personal life, it's in your relationship, in your love life as well. So you have to choose to grow. You have to choose to make decisions that align with the new you that you're stepping into. Choosing to experience these growing pains and make these new decisions, it's not going to feel good in the beginning, but it will be good in the end. What I learned throughout my process was that every new decision that I made was smoothing the rough edges that my past decisions caused. Traumas and generational curses, that's what creates rough edges, because even though our moms and our grandmas and our family members have our best intentions, they don't realize that they pass down toxic ways sometimes. And it's like, you tried to tell me this because you thought it was best, but you learned this from a place of hurt. You're carrying hurt with you, and that's why you have this mindset. So even though you were trying to protect me, you actually boxed me in and caged me into only thinking that hurt or pain is my portion when God has more for me. So I have to break myself out of the box that you put me in by trying to protect me in order to be exposed to the more that God has for me. It's not God's plan. There's no fear in perfect love. It's not God's plan for you to fear love, or for you to fear growth, or for you to fear new beginnings. That's not his plan. So you can't allow mama's fear of stepping into love or your daddy's fear of being vulnerable to become your fear. So every new decision that you make is smoothing out the rough edges that past decisions has caused. All right, now we're gonna put on, I'm using the wrong stick, y'all. I'm using the EVIN contour stick. I guess we'll use that on the nose because it's already there, and then we'll use the Morphe stick on my cheeks. And when I do this, y'all can see my contour line is pretty bold already, so I just follow it just like that. All right, so when you begin to make new decisions that align with the new you that you want to be, you're also stepping into the sweet, soft, feminine side of you that God is calling you to. The word talks about women having a gentle and quiet spirit. I always tell you guys this. It's God's plan for women to be soft and soft and genuine and gentle. That's God's plan for us. And if you think about it, babies, whether male or female, they're soft, they're genuine, they're gentle, they're kind. Y'all, I can pop Josiah right now and then tell him to come give me a hug, and he's gonna come give me a hug, because that's who we were created to be at our core. But it's life experiences that make our edges rough, and that make us put up our guards, and that make us not want to be open and vulnerable and transparent with people. And as you grow in your relationship with God, he teaches you how to pull down those walls that past pain and traumas and generational curses has put up. Because when you put up a guard or you put up a wall, you don't let anything in, but you also don't let anything out. So it's just like you're in a prison. Who wants to live that way? Y'all put 2 lines on my nose. Goodness, that was not on purpose. And this line is kind of crooked. Jesus, let me fix it. I'll be back. Hi, Puka. Y'all, Josiah's being so quiet. I'm so proud of him. We're gonna have so much fun at the playground.
Yeah, where's your friend?
Huh?
I want my friend to come.
What friend?
Yeah, garage.
Yeah, I have a garage, but can you come sit back down
Yeah.
with the phone? I'm almost done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, y'all, so I fixed the nose. Now we're gonna do our new setting powder. Yeah, I probably should have did it before the contour, but I'll just go over the contour again. I'm excited. Okay, so now you're beginning, when you address these traumas and begin to intentionally make decisions that are the opposite of what the old you would do, now you're tapping into the soft feminine side of you that God has called you to be. And this part is so beautiful. The other parts require a lot of work and it's scary, and there's a lot of times during that process where it's just like, is this even what I should be doing? Like, I don't even know if this is right because I never done this before. This feels weird being all mushy and nice, and I feel like I want to cry. Why am I'm not even a crier. I usually don't feel this. Like, God begins to heighten your emotions and your feelings as you begin to pray and go through this process of digging and doing the work. Like, he actually changes the way that you process how you feel and stuff like that. Like, it's like it gets heightened. I can't even put it into words, but it's like God begins to heighten your emotions when you begin to do the work and you begin to pray and let him know what you want to do, and you want to let down your guard. You want to become more feminine. He's like, all right, bet, I've been waiting on you to say that this is what you want to do. Let me show you how it feels. Let me show you the benefits of being more soft and being more feminine. And he allows you to feel all of these new emotions. And it's not even new emotions, it's emotions that's been there, but you weren't able to experience it because you had a guard up, you had a wall up. So you didn't even know the joy that comes with being vulnerable, the joy that comes with being loving, the joy that comes with being kind, and how people want to be around you. People want to love on you even more. People want to do stuff for you because of your kindness and because of the love that oozes out of you. Like, it's just like a whole new world. Okay, it's a different world that you experience, right? So it's like your feelings and everything get heightened, and your experiences change and get heightened as well when you begin to do the work and make new decisions that align with the new you that you want to be. Now you're experiencing the sweet, gentle side of you that God has called you to live in and has called you to, and I love that for you, okay? Because this is my first time using this setting powder. Ooh, y'all, it's so shimmery. Okay. Ooh. Y'all know anything new and bold I be scared of, right? It's definitely shimmery. Ooh, woo! I need to blend that in some, Lord. Oh shoot, I'm getting crazy with this. With this, you don't even need a highlighter. This is the highlighter. I mean, wow. I wish y'all could see. I feel like y'all kind of can. This brow is kind of jacked up. So I have like a little bump right there that's left like a black mark. So that's why the brow looks so discombobulated. But let's blend this in. I hope y'all can see how pigmented it is. I'm gonna have to re-contour my nose because I'm just all over the place with it. Yeah. So far, the first tip on how to let down your guard and how to be more feminine is to figure out, why is your guard up? Figure out your past traumas, and then also address those traumas. And how do you address those traumas? You go to step 2, which is dig and do the work. Figure out what those traumas are. Is it a generational curse? Where did the curse come from? Is it your mom's side, your dad's side? Is it an ex? Dig and do the work. After you dig and do the work, then you move to step 3, which is to be intentional with making decisions that align with the new you that God is calling you to. And the 4th step for how to let down your guard and be more feminine is to put all of this work into action. Now that you dig and you did the work, you address the traumas, you begin to make decisions that align it, you put it into action in your love life as well. There's one part of self-development, but then you also have to step outside of self and be a good person to other people. So many times people learn how to be good to themselves, but then you still rude and bad to others. No, now put it into action. Everything that you've poured into you and everything that you've learned with making new decisions and breaking patterns and breaking generational curses, now put that into action when you come into contact or relationships or friendships or co-workers or whatever with other people. Put everything that you've learned in steps 1 through 3 into action. So we got our eyeliner on. Now let's put some mascara on, because y'all know foundation get on your lashes. So put some mascara on before you put on your fake lashes. So the 4th step is to put it into action. What I mean by put it into action is applying it to other people and not just yourself. And this part requires a lot of prayer, because it's gonna require God giving you the strength and the boldness to show up as the new you. One of the babes had commented and said, how do you deal with people still treating you like the old version of you? And to answer that question, you deal with it by constantly showing up as the new version of you. That's what I mean by put it into action. Keep showing up as the new version of you, and the people around you will have to adjust. And if they don't adjust, then they can get removed. But you're not going to change the work, the digging, the self-development that you've done to please anybody. No, I know that there was a version of me that you were used to. I know that there was a version of me that you were cool with and you were comfortable with that version of me. But I have went through growing pains. I have given myself permission to outgrow the box that others has had me in, and I'm not going to shrink back into that box, because that's what makes you comfortable. So I'm not going to change my ways or change who I am now. You're either gonna adjust or you can go. Period. Sometimes people aren't comfortable with the new you, or they don't like the growth that you have because it forces them to grow. It makes them realize that they're still thinking the same old ways and you've moved on to something else. So instead of them going through their process of growing pains and self-development, they'll begin to make you feel about the work that you've done. But that's not God's plan for you. If they can accept the new you and the new calling that's on your life and the new characteristics that God has placed inside of you through you digging and doing the work and going through self-development and spending time in solitude to get to know you and get to know the parts of you that need to go, if they don't honor that, if they can't respect that, if they don't celebrate that, then they don't need to have access to that. Period. Yes, we're talking about letting your guard down, but we're not talking about removing all boundaries. There still needs to be boundaries, because you're doing work to become a better version of you. You're not just going to allow anybody to treat this version of you any type of way. You don't have to be nasty towards them, but you also don't have to give them access to you. During this step with putting it into action, pray for God to be with you every day, and he will allow his Holy Spirit to guide you through this process of, okay, God, I've did all the digging and I've did all the learning, but what does that look like in the day-to-day life? How do I actively let down my guard? What are some real life situations that I can be in and see tangible steps on what to do? When you pray for God to be with you every day, he will allow you to be in these different situations. The situations are different for everybody, right? So when you having the Holy Spirit with you, God will speak to you in the midst of the situations and say, okay, this is what it looks like to let your guard down right now. This is what it looks like to be calm right now. But it's in those situations where the Holy Spirit will speak to you. So I can't just list every situation, because everyone's life is different. Everyone's guard is different. Everyone's wall is different. But I can tell you that when you pray and ask for God to be with you every day, he's going to speak to you in your everyday situations and show you how to let your guard down and not act how the old you would have acted. And that's another way to discern what to do. If you're in a situation, think about, what would the old me do? And what do I think the new me should do? What should be my new response to reflect where I am now? So the lashes that I'm about to put on, y'all already know I use the Make It Big eyeliner by Morphe. It's like my favorite eyeliner. It's so bold and black. I'm about to put on the lashes. I use the NY Mink 3D volume. Actually, this is my first time using this one. This is a less bold lash. Y'all, I'm gonna try to do some short lashes because I feel like it's more feminine. But today these not that short, but they're less bold. This is N like Nancy, M like Mary 11. That's the number on these lashes I'm about to put on right now. So let's get the tweezers and the glue and put them on, because I know this video is long and I always say it's not gonna be long and I still make it long. Oh, I had to go back over my nose and I didn't do it. Y'all didn't even remind me. Hold on. Also, at the end of this video, we're gonna play a game where I mention some people that I know y'all know, and we're gonna talk about how feminine there are, or the different types of being feminine, or the different ways of being feminine. So make sure y'all stay tuned for the game. Now I don't remember what I was saying. So yeah, it's different situations for everyone. I can't really tell you guys, okay, this is exactly what's gonna happen, because everyone's life is different. But I can give you guys an example on what happened with me, because it's hard to go into detail with this because it looks different for everyone. So I can give you guys an example that I feel like a lot of y'all probably gonna be able to relate to. One example that the enemy love using when you're letting your guard down and becoming more feminine is sending an ex. He loves to send an ex to try to test you, to try to see if you've actually grown or if you're gonna slip back into your old ways. And what better way to see if you're gonna slip back into your old ways than to send an ex from your past, right? So he'll send an ex that'll send a text message. And for me, it'll always be a text during an argument. And it's just like, where is this coming from? The enemy, the enemy. Your exes always reach out when you're stepping into what God has for you, or when you're with who God has for you. Your ex is always gonna reach out because the enemy wants to get in the way of what God is doing. So this is a lash. Most people have to cut their lashes, but I have really long almond shaped eyes, so I never have to cut my lashes. They all fit. So yeah, the enemy is always gonna send an ex with a text or a call during the most inconvenient time for your growth, but appropriate time for your flesh, because you're gonna be in a weird space at that time, and then they're gonna come back saying the right thing. I'm telling you his tricks because I experienced it, and now you know, don't fall for it. He's trying to come against your personal growth by making you want to resort back to somebody that you've clearly outgrown. Ignore that text, okay? And what I learned, hold on, let me put this lash on. I know this video like an hour long. I do this every time, but I think y'all like these videos, so I'll do it for y'all. It's worth it for y'all. Actually, screen record your favorite part of this video, post it on your story, and tag me. So yes, I want you guys to screen record your favorite part of this video and add it to your Instagram story and tag me, and that way I can know what part or what topics to talk about next, because I know what's y'all favorite parts. So do that, even if I'm looking crazy. I should have said start screen recording here, but all the gems was before here. So even if I'm looking crazy, do that. Now we're about to put some liner on our bottom lid, and then do our bottom, no, we're gonna put some liner on, and then we're gonna do our highlight and blush, and then mascara. So what I realized from that type of situation where the ex is texting, what I learned for me personally, and I don't know if y'all can relate, comment if you can relate. What I learned is when the enemy uses the ex to text you during your self-development, your self-growth season, it triggers a place of fear or doubt or lack of confidence or insecurity, because it's just like, it makes you want to put your guard back up with anybody new, and it also makes you revert back to who you used to be and go back to what's comfortable for you. So the ex is what's comfortable, because you know what comes with the ex, you know the ins and out, you know his flaws, he knows your flaws, you're comfortable with him. So during your single season or your self-development season, or during the time of you being in a new relationship and exes pop up, it's because there's a safety net attached to that ex. And what if this new guy messes up, or what if the new me is not able to attract a new guy? Maybe I should keep my ex on the side because this is how I can play it safe. But that's still you having having your guard up because you're not operating in a place of true vulnerability and being honest about where you are. If you're keeping your ex or your slime on the side, or you still got him as a sneaky link, it's really him being your safety net. And you're making sure, even if you're not able to grow and find someone new, you still have someone to fall back on. And that's not good for you or him. It's you playing with his feelings. It's not feminine. It's actually not even cute, to be honest, because it's coming from a place of fear of not being enough, or not having faith that you're going to find someone new that can actually fulfill what you want in a significant other. If he was the one, you would have still been with him. I was listening to YouTube music, and they played X for a Reason by Summer Walker, and JT was like, you was X for a reason though, so ain't a reason to be reasonable. Like, you're my ex for a reason, so why would I text you back? Why am I calling you back? Why am I even entertaining you? You're an ex for a reason. And unless God himself shows me that whatever issues we had, he has solved, I don't have nothing to say to you. Summer Walker was preaching on that. She your ex for a reason, and girl, he your ex for a reason. Leave the door closed. As scary as it is, the only way you can truly let someone in your life is if you're 100% open and available to that person. If you still have someone on the side, or if you still have someone that you have history with, and y'all still talking, y'all still hanging out, you're not 100% open or available for that new person. You're not, your guard isn't down. You still have a guard up because you're still booed up with your old boo. So they can't even really get a chance to fully know you because you still playing the fence. You're 50% in and you're 50% over there, and it's because it's coming from a place of fear. I know that social media in this world would like to make us think that having options or having a backup plan is cute or cool, but really it's because everyone's scared of love and they're scared of being alone, so they make sure they have a backup plan just in case this plan fails. That's the truth of the matter. So now I'm about to open the e.l.f. Putty Blush. Is this powder? Y'all know how they blush usually comes. Hold on. Like, this is my other e.l.f. blush. It broke up, so I don't want to open it. But let's see, this one is like in a nude. Oh no, it's like almost look like lip gloss. Yeah, it's like pasty. I never used this type of blush before. Hopefully it comes out. Do y'all see it? So yeah, the culture or this world would try to make us think that that's the cool thing to do, but it's actually just people being scared of letting their guard down, scared of being 100% open to love and 100% open to a person. So to make sure I don't give you all of me, to make sure I don't give you access to my heart and possibly hurting me, I'm going to keep someone on the side. So if you do something wrong, I won't really feel it because I was never really in it. And that's not the way that God has called us to love. So I'm so happy and I'm so proud of you for watching this video and taking the steps to let down your guard and become more feminine, because that's the first step and you're already on your way, and it's gonna be so worth it. So I just wanted to put this in the video. This is not in my notes. I'm proud of you. I know it's scary to do, but it's what God would want you to do. And it's also an act of faith in God to protect you, and faith that God has someone out there that's doing the work just like you and not trying to play no games just like you. You have to have faith about that. Everybody is not a messed up individual. Everybody is not out here trying to play games and break your heart. No, even though it looks like that on social media, that's not the case. There's someone that God is working on just for you, and they're going through their same process. And when you two get together with both of your guards let down, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be kingdom. Are y'all seeing this blush? I don't really know. Oh, I see it now. Okay. I don't know how I feel about it, but we're just going to keep going. So what if they do hurt you? That's the $1 million question that I know you guys are asking. What if you let down your guard and you become vulnerable and you let someone in and they hurt you? What do you do then? What is God's plan then? If they jump off a bridge, are you gonna jump off a bridge? No. And what I mean by that, our mamas used to say it all the time, but it's true. You're not gonna do that either. And what I mean by that is, I tell you guys all the time on this channel, do not match energies. So what if you are vulnerable and you let down your guard and they hurt you? Better now than later. The sooner, the better. Because now I can dismiss you. Now I'm not gonna allow you hurting me or you being a bad person to turn me into a bad person. You lose nothing when you're a good person. I know that it'll feel like, well, dang, I gave you my love, I gave you my time, I gave you my patience, I was there for you, I was open with you, I was honest with you, and now I just took an L because you're gone. No, you didn't take an L. If anything, they took an L. Imagine messing over a person that's there for you 100%. Imagine messing over a person that loves on you. Imagine messing over a person that did nothing but treat you right. How is that their loss? That's not their loss, that's your loss, because you messed up a good thing. And good luck finding another good thing, right? So you don't match their energies. If they do hurt you, you take that and you say, okay, now I know what not to accept next time. Now I know what boundaries to have. Now I know what the wrong man looks like. Now I know what the wrong significant other looks like, and I can keep that in my mind when I'm moving on, but I'm not gonna allow it to change my heart. I'm not gonna allow it to change the way that I love. I'm not gonna allow it to change the fact that my guard is down. I'm not gonna become guarded. I'm not gonna become rude. I'm not gonna become closed off, because then I will be acting just like them and carrying their toxic ways with me. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to take a mental note and know what not to allow in my space anymore. Have y'all ever had an ex, and I know y'all have, I'm just asking just to ask it because I already know the answer, an ex that you was done with or whatever, and then they came back texting you, apologizing, wanting to get back together? We all have had that happen to us, because that's how it goes. You're a good person, you're a loving person, of course they're gonna come back, of course they're gonna send that text, of course they're gonna call, because you realize you lost a good thing, because you didn't know how to have a good thing, you didn't know how to treat me. So they'll be back, just like those old exes that came back when they realized they lost a good thing. Imagine someone losing the godly, healed version of you. The version of you where your wall is down. The version of you that's forgiving and loving and kind and gentle. Imagine somebody losing that. They're going to be back before you know it. Don't even worry. It may feel like an L now, but it's actually a level up, because they will be back before you know it. I could bet my bottom dollar on that. They'll be back. They always do. And that's why you don't let their toxic, damaged, build up trauma, generational cursed filled ways change you and your heart. You move on with grace. Right in their face. You're gonna allow them to see that you're not bitter. You don't cuss them out. You don't even need to block them. If you don't want to block them, you don't gotta block them. You don't gotta curse them out. You don't have to treat them no type of way. You don't gotta go online and talk about them. Don't do none of that. Move on with grace and let God handle them. Because they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel the way that they treated you. Trust me. After you do the work to make you a better you, you move with grace. And you flow away or go away from anybody who interrupts that flow. Anyone that doesn't respect, reciprocate, or honor the new you that you've grown into, you remove them out of your life. Quickly. And then you have faith that God is gonna send someone your way that can match you, that has the same energy, that has the same love, that has the same vulnerability as you. You have faith in that. I was listening to Drake's Cameras Go, Good Ones Go. And that song is perfect for this part of the video. He knew the good one got away. And when you get away, stay close to God. And know that God is going to send someone who wants to see you just as much as you want to see them, who wants to love on you just like you want to love on them, who wants to be there for you just like you want to be there for them. He's going to send someone that's on the same level as you, that's in the same league as you, okay? You're just out of a lot of people's league, and that's not something to feel bad about. But you'll never meet that person if you're guarded, if you have resentment, you still trying to force that ex to be somebody that he not. You'll never give yourself the room to meet that person. Trust God more than you trust what you see right now. It's something greater on the way. Y'all already know the highlighter I like to use is the Too Faced Love Light. I think that's the name. I can't see the back. But this is my favorite highlighter. Tips for expressing your emotions, because we're basically done. Tips for expressing your emotions. The main tip, be true to yourself. That's how you express your emotions. You be true to yourself. Be with someone who feels like a safe space for you, right? Who gives you that feeling where you feel comfortable and opening up and sharing, like they make you feel heard, and they make you feel like it's okay to say how you feel, and it's okay to say what you want, and they're not judging you, or they're not saying, oh, you too clingy or you too needy or anything like that. That person is not the person for you. There's somebody that wants those characteristics, right? So be true to yourself when it comes to expressing your emotions, and be okay with how you, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Of course, make sure you do the work to mature and go through your self-development, so you're not just throwing random emotions, childish emotions out there, but be true to you and how you love, how you receive love, and how you give love, and be with someone who feels like a safe space. It's gonna be scary at first because it's new, but force yourself to still do it anyways. You let down your guard. When you're letting down a guard, you're letting someone in, and you can only do that by expressing to that person and talking to that person and opening up to that person. And if you're somebody that was like me, who usually didn't do that, it feels uncomfortable, it feels weird because you're used to bottling stuff up. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. Be honest, be open with that person. And if you're someone like me who was used to keeping everything to yourself or bottling things up, it feels weird opening up to a person or becoming vulnerable to a person, letting that person into your thoughts and your world. But force yourself to do it anyways. Push yourself to become better. Push yourself to mature emotionally, and say exactly how you feel. Don't play the games, and don't act tough, and don't, oh, I'm good, I don't care, when you know you really do care. Be true to you. That's the best tip for expressing your emotions, is to be true with you, for you, and for where you are right now. If you're feeling extremely emotional right now, I'm feeling extremely emotional right now. If you're feeling kind of distant right now, do you mind if I just have a minute to myself? Be true to you and where you are. So stop being scared, and send that text that say, hey, I was just thinking about you, I pray you have a good day. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Like, I was definitely that girl which was like, I'm thinking about him, but he better read my mind and know I'm thinking about him. I'm not gonna text him first. Who? Send that text. Ain't nobody got time to play games. You never know what that person is going through. That text might make their day. That text might cheer up their mood. You don't know what God is trying to use you to do. Stop playing games. Be true to you, and say how you feel or what it is that you want, because no one will know unless you say it or unless you express it. The worst thing that can happen is they can reject your feelings, or they could not reciprocate it, and you feel dumb for sharing it. But guess what? That just means they're not the one for you. So you'll never have access to those feelings again, because I'm on to the next one that can appreciate who God has created me to be. A soft, genuine, loving, caring woman. It's nothing wrong with that. Let down your guard. So now that we're done, we're basically done. I'm just gonna spray my face and then wipe my lips to put on my lipstick. I know this video is so long, I just know it is. We're gonna play this little game. Okay, we're gonna play this game, and in the game I'm gonna name some women and their type of feminine ways, like, because it's different type of feminine ways. So I'm gonna name these women and just tell you what I love about their feminine energy. So the first woman I want to name is Summer Walker. Actually, I should do my lips. Let me do my lips. I'll be back. All right, y'all already know how I do my lips. Black liner, nude lips, what's new? But yeah, I'm gonna do that while we get into this game. The first woman that I want to mention is Summer Walker, and if you guys know of her music, you know that she is I feel like she's a very feminine woman, because she's very in tune with her feelings. Most of her songs are about being in your feelings and love and heartbreak and stuff like that, being over it, and just a lot of emotions are included in her songs. So I feel like that's one type of way, or one type of style of femininity, is a woman that's very in tune with her feelings and very in tune with her emotions. And I love that about her, because I feel like, being that I was a person who I had my guard up, once God taught me how to put my guard down, then I had to begin how to learn all of the emotions that I was finally experiencing. It's just like, where does this emotion come from? Why am I feeling like this? And how do I get this emotion across to my significant other? When you have your guard up like me, and I don't know if you guys can relate, leave in a comment if you can relate, but for me, being that I had my guard up, the only emotion I knew how to show was anger. I can show you when I'm pissed off, like I can show you that, but I couldn't show when I miss you, I love you, I want to show you some attention, I want some attention from you. Like, I couldn't get that emotion across or properly express or show that emotion, because I had no knowledge of it, because the guard that I had up and the wall that I had up prevented me from accepting that emotion and understanding that emotion. So what I love about Summer Walker and her femininity is that she's very in tune with her emotions, and she knows how to put it into words how she's feeling. That's something that I had to learn how to do, but that's something that's very great to have in your feminine energy. I mean, in your feminine journey. All right, I'm gonna put on some Carmex. So that's what I love about Summer Walker. So all I did was put on the brown liner, and I don't have on any lipstick yet. I just have on Carmex. I actually love how this looks. What did you say, Puka? Go poop. I actually love how this looks. Yeah, so this is where we're at. All right, the next woman is Megan Thee Stallion. Let me tell y'all why I love Megan Thee Stallion. I love Megan Thee Stallion, one, because in a way, Megan Thee Stallion is who I was before I let my guard down. I'm not even gonna cap, she's who I was. So I understand her. And what I mean by that is, when Megan Thee Stallion got with Party, I don't know if y'all remember all the pictures they was posting, all the captions she was putting up and stuff, like expressing her emotions. He used to talk about how she used to sit beside the door while he was pooping in the bathroom. And it was shocking to see for a lot of people, because they was like, what happened to Hot Girl Summer? What happened to F these guys and all this other stuff? But what I love about Megan Thee Stallion is that's her line of work, but she's still a woman who wants love, and you see it in her relationship. And there's a lot of women that's like that. I also thought about JT. Everybody was surprised when she got with Uzi and how affectionate she is with him, because she's just like, I'm a city girl, I still want love, like, because that was me at my core. So I see them, y'all, like I can relate, because it's like that wall that you put up in the hardness. People think it's because you don't want love, but really you've been hurt and you experienced things that made you that way. But then when you're around someone that feels like a safe space, like we talked about earlier, then you can tap into your true feminine energy and rest in that lovely, caring, affectionate, vulnerable place that God created us to be. So I love seeing the transition from Megan Thee Stallion to her with Party, and JT to her with Uzi. And Carisha, I think she just did an interview and she was like, I love a man, like I shave my head for a man, I love me a man, like, but it's like, you a city girl. Yeah, and she's so Florida, so y'all know I can relate to that. It's like, yeah, I'm a city girl, but I still want love. And that's why I wanted to start this off talking about seeing why the guard is up and looking at your traumas and digging and doing the work, because I know with Carisha and JT, they're from Florida just like I'm from Florida, and it's very rough in Florida, y'all. So it makes, like, your environments, it plays a part in who you are and the way that you love and the way that you give love and the way that you receive love. So I can relate to why they are rough around the edges like they are, because that's just how he is in Florida, right? So you have to learn to be soft and feminine and loving like that. So I love to see it on them. I don't know how they got to that point, but I know my process, and it's so much more fulfilling when you are in that place, especially because that's how God created us to be. So I thought of Megan Thee Stallion, and I love how she can separate her work, and JT and Carisha, they can also separate their work from them being loving and affectionate in a relationship. I also thought about Cardi B as well. Y'all know Cardi B is New York, and when she started rapping, she's very tough, but then she also came out with be careful with me, like, you know, be careful with me when you're loving me, be careful with me because I'm vulnerable, I'm open, I'm affectionate. These women know how to separate the two, and it's like, this is what my audience want to hear, but never forget that I'm still very feminine at my core, and I want that love, I want that affection, I want that companionship as well that comes with a relationship, that comes with being a feminine woman that God called us to be. Beyonce, y'all should have known I was gonna mention Beyonce. I love how feminine Beyonce is. Beyonce is the example of gentle and quiet spirited in my opinion. Also Sarah Jakes gives me the same feminine energy as Beyonce, where it's very poised. They're standing next to their man, but you know, when they open their mouth, they got something to say. Them being feminine and being poised and being, you could tell they're submissive. Them being feminine, poised, and submissive with their significant other does not take away from their power. And that's what I love. That's what I aspire to be. I want you to know that even though I'm submissive, I can rest in my feminine energy, but still understand that I'm poised, but I'm also a powerhouse. Don't play with me, okay? I I love that about Beyonce, and I love that about Sarah Jakes Roberts as well. They possess that poisonous but still a powerhouse nonetheless, and that is such a beautiful feminine energy characteristic to have. Chloe Bailey is another type of feminine energy, whereas she's embracing her body and she's embracing the fact that this is how God made me, and I love that. She does it in her own way, and I love it about her because I feel like body shaming is real. I feel like a lot of people, especially in this time, feel like there's so many things that they need to change about their body and themselves. And I don't know if she's had work done or not, but from what I see, a woman that's embracing and loving what God has given her, I feel like that's a beautiful feminine energy characteristics to have, especially with such a big platform to teach younger women that it's okay to love you in whatever way that looks like. Some people are just more open and expressive, and I don't think it's our place to judge. That's between them and God. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what journey or what insecurity she had to overcome to be this confident and be this bold. So I love that for her. Two YouTubers that have feminine energy that I love and I would suggest for letting down your guard and becoming more feminine is Brianna Monique as well as Aaliyah Face. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of them before. Brianna Monique, what I love about her is I love that she has the clean girl aesthetic, and I love how soft she looks and how soft she carries herself. I was watching one of her vlogs and she was like, I just love all things skincare, like lotions and exfoliants and body scrubs and stuff, because I just want my skin to be soft and smell good. And I feel like that's something that needs to be promoted more, because it is important for us to take care of the temple that God has given us. And I didn't even know that that was a feminine characteristic. I remember in college, I would put on lotion, I would put on perfume to go to bed. And my friend Quinteria, she'd be like, why are you putting on smell good lotion to go to bed? Why are you putting on perfume to go to bed? Like, that doesn't even make sense. You're going to sleep. But I didn't know that was feminine then, but now I know, like, that's a part of my feminine energy. Like, whether I'm going to sleep or I'm going outside, I want to smell good. Like, that's just what it is. So when I saw her talking about it, I was just like, yeah, like, okay, it's not just me. And this actually is a thing, and it's actually something that is worth doing because you feel good when you do it, you know? So there's different ways of self-care, and smelling good when you go to sleep and putting on perfume and putting on some cute pajamas, all of that is self-care. So I love that Brianna promotes that as well. As far as Aaliyah Face, I love the way that she's intentional about constantly improving herself, whether it's cooking different meals or trying different skincare. Or I was watching a vlog and she was like, I need to get back on my routine with going to the gym and waking up before 7, like making sure she's constantly staying on a schedule to constantly improve herself. When you're in, and she's not single, but when you're in your single season, this is something that you can apply to your life to help you have a routine for you and to set the tone for your life, so that you're not looking for someone else to set the tone for you. A part of being feminine is also a part of having your own routine and loving on yourself first. She openly loves on herself with her routine and sticking to her routine and being disciplined, not needing a man to make her disciplined, not needing a job to make her disciplined, or not doing it because somebody else is telling her to do it. A part of her self-care is making herself disciplined to stick to the schedule that she's sticking to. And that's a part of being feminine, because you never know how that characteristic can encourage your significant other as well, and the benefits that it brings you. So I love that about Aaliyah's Face and her routine and how she takes her self-care seriously. I feel like that's another feminine energy characteristic to have and to aspire to work towards. So for the lips, I'm just gonna put on this Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper by Milani. The color is Champagne. I got this from Target. And I'm just gonna put it in the center of my bottom lip and spread it out a little bit, because I already like how they look. So just gonna do that. And that's it. Voila. So I do want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Leave in the comments your favorite part of this video, or post it on your Instagram story and tag me in it. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and share it to a friend who wants to let down their guard and become more feminine. I appreciate you guys for watching this Get Ready With Me. Let me know if you would like to see more Get Ready With Me's, and leave in the comments any topics, questions, or suggestions that you guys have for these videos. And I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. Bye. Come say bye. Y'all heard him in the background. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Okay, good job.